Welcome to ECU STEP Program's Fireside Chat. I am Ashley Cooper, and tonight we have on Sam Huffman, who will be our moderator.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sam Huffman. I manage and oversee the STEP program's social media and marketing. We are so thrilled for you to be here tonight. And then before we actually get started, you have probably been overwhelmed in our social media feed today with Pirate Nation Gives. And we want to just take a very quick second before we get into tonight's fireside chat to thank, first of all, anyone who has donated to Pirate Nation Gives. This is ECU's 7th annual day of giving, of where all of Pirate Nation comes together to donate and show how we can pursue gold. And again, we greatly thank you for all the donations. And we're just going to play just a real quick video that shows and highlights everything about ECU and why it's so important to pursue gold, which will also tie in tonight with Ashley's message. So I'm going to play that real quick. And that is Pirate Nation Gives. So if you want to make a donation, you can go to give.ecu.edu. Again, that's give.ecu.edu. You've probably seen our social media feeds. There will continue to be posts all the way up until midnight. So be sure to pursue gold today. Now, back to our normal programming, which is our fireside chat with Ashley Cooper. Ashley, you can take it away.
All right. I always love to get started with a couple of fast facts about the STEP program to kind of give you an overview of the program. So the population that the STEP program serves, we serve students that have documented specific learning disabilities, which fall into the categories of dyslexia, dysgraphia, and dyscalculia. Many of our students may have other diagnoses, but students must have a primary diagnosis with a specific learning disability and must be on the college preparatory track for high school as well. Our program model, we serve, we give wraparound supports for students. We have a comprehensive program that goes beyond what's legally required at the university, and we provide students with that ongoing assistance to help them with key transitions that they'll navigate through the stages of college. We also provide our students with intensive academics assistance. We provide them with a support network of professional and peers. And then we give them skills to help support them beyond college, like building their resume, building their LinkedIn, just to help them with going into either graduate school or going into the workforce after college. And then one special thing to note about the STEP program is that you do not have to pay any additional fees to participate in the program. So on the next slide, we're going to take a look at the STEP staff. So, of course, I'm Ashley Cooper. I am the transition specialist for the STEP program. I provide the students with assistance during their senior year. If you're applying to the STEP program, you typically apply during your junior year. And then during your senior year, I provide a transition curriculum to help support you with the navigation between high school and college. So I provide transition newsletters. I help with a pre-college boot camp that the students attend as well. So that navigation from being a high school graduate and coming into ECU and being a pirate, I help ease that transition for students. And then on our team, we also have our director, Mr. Adam Denny. Our director is in charge of the ongoing supports of the program. He supports the current students and provides them at the primary point of contact for the enrolled students and families. He oversees the daily operations of the program. He coordinates program-related activities, data collection, and other resources for the STEP program. And then we have Dr. Danielle Dietz. She's our instructional specialist. She develops and teaches the STEP program curriculum. She also provides the students with being their co-advisor. So she learns them as a learner and gets to know what strategies work best for students. And she helps guide them through major exploration and through that development and transitions through college. As part of the STEP program, she also supports the study hall. One of the key things to note is a requirement for students that come in to get 15 hours of study hall. They can do this by meeting with their mentor. They need to meet with their mentor at least one time a week. And then, of course, our STEP program also provides tutoring for students as well. Normally, our tutors consist of the subject areas of writing, English, math, and science. And then we also have on our team Miss Brooke Taunton. She is our administrative support specialist, but she's also the grant manager for the STEP program as well. So she helps us keep the program running and functioning. So
A
on the
key
next
piece
slide,
with Pirate Nation Gives.
it is. So if you're thinking about giving to the STEP program, that would be a great opportunity, or just giving to ECU in general. So remember, Pirate Nation Gives, we're going to pursue gold today.
And I do want to remind anyone, if you're just now joining in, you are more than welcome to leave a question in the comments. We'll answer them live. This is what this Fireside Chat is for Ashley Cooper, who you see right above me, to answer your questions. Anything you have about the application, this is a great time to do so, and you can just type it in while we're even talking, and we'll stop and answer it for you. Next slide.
All right, well, good to go. So on the next slide, I want to take us through the admission timeline because it looks a little different from the process of a typical timeline for admissions for a student applying to college. So students apply during their junior year. Our application opened this year on December the 19th of 2022. And applications will be open through our May 15 deadline. I want to note that we do accept 10 students per fall semester. So we're looking at students applying to our 2024 cohort. Students apply directly to the STEP program, and they do have that separate application that takes place before regular admission. So if you're thinking about applying to the STEP program, you're going to be applying during your junior year. And our deadline is coming up May 15th. So our deadline is coming up soon, but applications are still open. So that takes us straight into tonight. So tonight, our focus is going to be about East Carolina University. One of the key components of being in the STEP program is that you are a part of East Carolina. So we're going to highlight some things and answer some questions tonight about East Carolina in general. Our first question on the topic of campus living is, are students required to stay on campus during their first year? Yes. So students are required to stay on campus during their first year. For the STEP program, we do reserve a specific dorm on campus for scholars to stay in during their first year. So if you're participating in the STEP program, the cohort rooms in the same dorm. But you would not room with another student that's in the program. So everyone would be in the same dorm, but you wouldn't room with another student in the program. And we wanted to take a minute to go over a video that shows campus living to give you that real world life experience of ECU. All right, so we hope you find your treasure here at ECU through our campus living. So on the next slide, we're going to take a step back to the admissions policy, because I get this question a lot from a lot of students that are thinking about applying to the STEP program and just knowing that navigation in that process order. So do you apply to STEP or ECU first? So if you're thinking about coming to ECU under the STEP program, you would apply to the STEP program first. Like I mentioned earlier, the STEP program is a separate admissions process. So we do have a separate application that's different from the ECU application. So if you're looking to apply to STEP, you can apply today at step.ecu.edu. and students must apply directly to our program to be considered a candidate. So I wanted to highlight that because that's a very important part of that process. So on the next slide, and I know we're going through fast, but at any point you can stop me with questions about the STEP program and I will answer them live for you. This is a question I get a lot too, because for this school year, it's been a little different for students. So is the SAT or ACT required for the STEP program's application? So at this moment, for the students that are applying to the fall 2023, their SAT and ACT was not required for them. So if you're thinking about applying to the STEP program, you got to take into consideration that you are applying to the fall of 2024. At this time, ECU has not made a decision about if the SAT and ACT will be required. But STEP's policy is that we are requiring the SAT and ACT be submitted as documentation for our application process. So at this time, it is a requirement for students to go in and take the SAT or ACT if you're thinking about applying to the STEP program. Just because we are taking in consideration if this does change, all the students will be already ready and in line in terms of applying to the SAT and ACT in terms of that school year that they're coming into. So if you're thinking about coming to the STEP program, just keep in mind that if you go ahead, we strongly encourage you to take the SAT and ACT, especially if you're thinking about applying to other programs as well.
And before we go to the next slide, I want to mention, if you're just now joining us, welcome to the ECU STEP Program Fireside Chat with Ashley Cooper. We are so delighted to have you on here. It's been a busy day at STEP, but that's what just makes it even greater. And, while we're talking about SAT and ACT, maybe you're rewatching this video and you're thinking, I still have a question about SAT, ACT. You can still leave a comment in the comment box, and we'll still reply to it. And we can also reply privately if it's more personal. You can also contact Ashley. Her contact information is on our website, and we'll also show that on the screen a little later in the presentation. But again, I just want to echo that if you are joining us, please leave your questions in the comments. At any time, we'll stop and answer them live. I'll go ahead to the next slide for you.
All right. So, see a question in the chat, I do believe. Did you want to take?
Yes. Is there a minimum SAT or ACT score?
It's a great question. So as the STEP program, we are looking at our application process, and our application is a little differently than admissions looks at their process. So we're looking at the whole program and the whole application in terms of consideration for the STEP program. So we don't have an exact science or rubric in terms of minimum SAT or ACT scores or minimum GPA. We're looking at the accommodations that the students receive and then also the supports that our program provides. So we don't have a minimal score that we're taking in consideration, but we're looking at the overall structure of the applicant. And it's a great question. Mm-hmm. All right, takes us into our next question. So I get this question geared in different ways depending on where you are coming from. What is the student to faculty ratio at ECU? So students coming from a smaller school, thinking about the student to faculty ratio could be a very effective process to decide if you want to come to ECU. So our student to faculty ratio is 19-1. So for every 19 students, we have one faculty member. So if you're thinking about that, take that in consideration when you're thinking about applying to the STEP program and ECU. And do you get to choose your major if you're in the STEP program? Yes, you absolutely get to choose your major. You have 87 bachelor degrees to choose from. So you have the opportunity to choose whatever major you would like. And our instructional specialist, Dr. Danielle Dietz, will help guide you in exploring majors as well. So if you come in undecided or don't know just yet what you would like to do, Or if you do have something in mind, exploring those resources that we have with the STEP program will help guide you through that exploration process to choose your major as well. So, coming in undecided, no worries. We're here to support you through that process.
There are so many ways to pursue gold at ECU, over 80 different majors. Wonderful, wonderful.
All right. So, this has been a question I've received a lot from parents thinking about students coming onto campus and our campus safety. So, we do have our own ECU police force. Their mission is to provide and maintain a safe learning environment for students on campus. They're going to promote that safety. They're providing us with services, and they work in collaboration with the university. So the campus resources on campus are really highly connected to our ECU police force. We do have a Live Safe app available for students. Oftentimes, if we are put into potential situations, we don't always say something. So this gives students the opportunity to, if they see something, say something. And this is an app that they can download on their phone. It's free for our students, our faculty, and staff. And ECU parents can also download this app to receive notifications as well. So it's a very informative app where it's a resource for students to share information and tips about safety concerns they have on campus. They can include pictures, they can include videos, audio attachments, and even have a live chat. And they can stay anonymous. So if you're thinking about reporting something on campus and are afraid there's going to be some retaliation, or you don't want to be the person known or associated with the event, you can anonymously report anything to campus police. So you're able to report those things on campus as well. And then one other thing on campus that you may see as you're walking around, if you navigate a tour, we do have blue light phones that are a direct connection to our ECU police force as well. We have approximately 100 blue light phones on campus. They should be used in emergency situations for reporting crimes or suspicious activities. But if you do observe a potential safety hazard and you do require any assistance or feel unsafe in the campus, you push a red button on that safety phone and it instantly connects you with the ECU police dispatch. So it's a great opportunity as you're going through campus to navigate and see these resources that we have in place to keep the campus safe for all the students. So these are a couple of the resources, not an exhaustive list, but I wanted to highlight some of the areas where we promote student safety on campus.
And there is one other one I think also be really great for parents. And I think even students, like myself, I'm also a student at the university, is anytime that there is an ECU alert, you also get a text message from the university to let you know of whatever the ECU alert may be. They also update on Twitter of what ECU alerts are on the Live Safe app as well. So maybe you don't have Twitter, or maybe you don't have access to that text, but you have the LiveSafe app. It also comes through there. So there's a variety of ways that the campus safety that ECU Police provides alert information in the cause that if there ever is one. I also want to remind anyone who's joining us to please leave your questions in the comments field. We're here to answer them live. We will break through of what we're talking about, so don't feel like you need to wait to the end to ask your comments. Just ask it, and we will answer.
All right, so I'm taking us back into STEP application materials. So if you're thinking about applying for the 2024 cohort, we do have an application guide that helps you navigate that process. Of course, I am also here to help with that process as well. So if you do have any questions about navigating the application process, I am here to guide you. So you can email me or you can contact me directly via phone if you want to discuss anything about the application. But the application guide is very, very comprehensive. I just want to give you a warning. And once you open it, it's a lot of information there, but it's very detailed. And if you have any questions about how to apply to the STEP program, make sure you contact me and I can help you with that process. In addition to our application guide on the next slide, we do have an application checklist that can help students navigate the process, but also know exact forms and also return codes for returning back to the application. So if you're thinking about applying to the STEP program, we do have several application forms that you would have to fill out. You can go in, feel free to save what you are working on. And once you save your current progress for the application, you'll get a return code. That return code allows you to log back into your application and complete any forms. It also gives you the opportunity to go back in and edit and update information. So if you are taking the SAT and ACT in February and you don't have your scores yet, no worries. You can go back to your application and update the application by using your return codes, and also by emailing me if you forget or lose your return code. I am always an option to help you support you with that process. But the checklist also, it has one perk at the bottom. You're able to record all your return codes for each file there. It keeps it in one place and helps you stay organized through that application process. So feel free to reach out to me. And if you're thinking about applying to the STEP program and would like more information, I also can support you with that as well. So that takes us straight into our next slide. So if you did want to learn more about ECU and the STEP program, one thing we recommend that any person that comes and does a tour with our STEP program with me, or does an open house event with me, we also encourage you, really highly encourage you to take an ECU tour as well. I like to say the STEP program is a combo situation. If you're thinking about STEP, you also are thinking about ECU, and that's a big part of your commitment to the university and the STEP program. So we do have some open house events coming up. On Friday, we have one at 2 o'clock, and then on April 13th, we have one at 9 a.m. We do have some virtual options as well. If you are not very close to ECU currently, and you still want to be able to get that experience, we do have a virtual open house. We have one on March 23rd, I do believe, at 2 p.m. and then April 13th at 9. So those virtual open house events are there as well. And then we do have a campus tour video that kind of gives you an overview of ECU. After all of this, I bet you probably have a lot of information on your hands and you're thinking about and you're processing all of this information, but feel free to contact us at the STEP program if you need any information about the program and how it works in relation to ECU. We can answer all of your questions and sit down and schedule informational sessions with you so that you feel comfortable in that application process. So, do we have any questions? If you do have a question, feel free to email me or give me a call. But go ahead, Sam.
It's okay. I don't see any in our comments field right now, but I know it's a busy day across our university right now with Pirate Nation Gives. So I know there's a lot also going on, so you may be seeing that too. But if you're rewatching this later, you come across it, you can still put your questions in the comments field, and we can still get back to you and answer your question, even though this video is already over and recorded. But actually, while we wait for any possible questions, one question we do get a lot is, what does a typical day for a STEP student look like? Could you lightly touch on that?
That's a great question. So I'll highlight the first year student experience because that's what the student will probably first come on campus and experience. So for that first year student coming on to campus, we do set your your required classes for you. So you're coming in, you're going to take a EDUC elective with our instructional specialist. So you'll get that firsthand experience with being able to navigate your learning style. So you'll have a class with her, but you'll also have the opportunity to take classes alongside your cohort. So you will probably be assigned to this very similar classes, if not the same classes. So you'll all be in the same section. And students get the opportunity to stagger their schedule to come into the Learning Cove. So I don't think I mentioned this time, and I think I normally mention this at the beginning. The STEP program is located in Joyner Library. So we're located on the second floor, and students have the opportunity to schedule time to come into the STEP Cove to achieve their study hall hours. So students have to complete 15 hours of study hall during that first year each week. And so that looks very different each day based on their classes and how their schedule looks. So they'll come in during their downtimes. So downtimes, I'm saying in response to times when they're not in class, they're going to come into the Cove to achieve those study hall hours. And so now you may be thinking, what are you coming into the Cove and do during study hall? So a typical student coming into the Cove would meet with their mentor at least 1 hour a week. That's minimum. And during that meeting with the mentor, students work on time management skills. They work on filling out their planner. They would look at their courses, and they navigate that process of how to study for their exams or how to prep for writing a paper. In terms of what time do I need to dedicate to these activities, and mentors are there to support students with that process. Now, if you do have a paper coming up and you feel like, I really wish I could get someone to review this, or I don't know how to best word this. We do have tutors in the program as well. So if you do come across a problem or a challenge, we do have tutors available to help assist you with your writing intensive classes. They're there to assist you with your science classes or your math classes. And sometimes we don't realize how our classes are co-connected. And you may be in a class that's writing intensive, but you might have to do some math in it. And so that kind of pops into your life a little bit, and even if it wasn't a assigned math class, and you're like, oh, but I have a math tutor available for me, and I feel supported, and I'm able to get this done. And I think we did have a great comment that students are
Let me go
coming into
back to
the
it.
Cove about approximately 3 hours per day. And so now this is the next thing. On my tours and open house events, I get this next question of 15 hours a week. Miss Cooper, that sounds like a lot. That sounds like more than what I do in high school. And then we break it down. The high school day is normally about 7 hours, right? You're in school all day. And that transition from high school to college is gonna look a lot different. So you're gonna spend a lot of your time outside of your class, navigating and preparing and reading and strategizing all the things that you probably would typically do in a high school class while in class, you would now start to do outside of class. So those 3 hours per day, there's really not a lot of time in the sense of comparison to your high school day. So breaking this down, I will say that these are minimum required hours. These are not saying that this is only the time that you will be able to work on your resources. Of course, you'll have all the time that you need to get things done, but minimally, you're coming into the STEP program getting that 15 hours of support. So that is kind of the daily schedule in the sense of like all the things a first year student would probably need to know coming in.
That truly sounds exactly what a day in the life of a step student is, because I can speak for it myself. And let me tell you that you do need 15 hours. I know it's very daunting and scary hearing that big number. I was in those same shoes my junior year of high school, hearing I was like, oh my gosh. But it does go by fast. And on the positive side, too, when you are in the Cove, we still do many community bonding events, and we always have great conversations. So it doesn't feel like you're always just constantly just sitting down and doing school. We also still have a lot of fun, but at the same time, there is help, and it's always available, no matter what it may be. There is help, and I think that's what makes the STEP program such a key program to pursuing gold in higher education for students with learning disabilities because STEP provides that support. And that is one of my other questions we also get a lot, I think, Ashley, is what do our tutor and mentor services typically look like at STEP?
So the tutors and the mentors. So the mentors, you're meeting with that mentor 1 hour a week. You're going through your planner. You're going through all of your coursework, and they kind of get to know you as a learner as well. They get to know you as a person. So they're thinking about all of your academic activities, but they do have time to talk with you about your wellness, how to take care of yourself, how to incorporate that into your schedule. So that mentor is looking at that schedule piece, and they can help you plan your day out to the minute if that's what it takes for you to function and be aware of everything that you have due for your classes. The tutoring aspect. So mentors are available throughout the day. So we do have a mentor that is in the program that is sitting here available to students. So mentors do have assigned students that they work with, but they also have the opportunity, if you feel you need to meet with your mentor more than 1 hour a week, that is definitely possible. You can meet with your mentor. They are available for assistance. They're there to check in on you. That's why they are in the Cove, to constantly check in with you to make sure you're making progress, but also to ensure that you're feeling supported through that process. And then we do have our tutors that are in the Cove as well. They're there to make sure you're feeling supported as well. They're there to check in on assignments. So if you do happen to schedule time with a tutor consistently, they probably will check in on you on when it's time for exams as well to help you prep for that process. Tutors have the ability to do workshops with students, which I think is a really great resource for students, especially the first year students coming in as a cohort. If they are, for instance, in a writing intensive class and they're learning how to paraphrase for the first time, tutors can hold a whole workshop session for all those students at once to provide them with the opportunity to learn that skill. But you also get the time for that individualized assistance as well. So not only do tutors have the ability to meet with in a group setting, but they also have the ability to schedule some time to meet one-on-one with students as well. So you get the best of both worlds in the sense of feeling supported by the STEP staff. We have that open door policy where students can come and talk with us anytime, but you also have the support of your mentors and tutors to help you through your academics.
That's great. And it truly is wonderful help that our tutors and mentors provide. Before we end tonight, Ashley, because it is 6:04 p.m. Eastern, we have one more thing. If you stay through the entire presentation, you're in luck because you're getting a sneak peek at what we have in store for next week. So I'm going to play the sneak peek, and then I'll talk briefly about what this really exciting news we have at the STEP program. So I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Questions, and STEP has the answers. Join ECU STEP program for a town hall with guests Hayden Clark, Dr. Danielle Dietz, Autumn DiMartino, and hosted by Sam Huffman. NECU STEP Town Hall, stream live Wednesday, March 29th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
So that one more thing is really exciting because the STEP program is going to be hosting its first ever town hall live on our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages. And as Dr. Dietz just commented, can't wait, and I can't wait either. This is going to be the opportunity for you to be able to ask your questions to a current STEP student, which is Hayden Clark. Also ask questions to a tutor and a mentor, Autumn DiMartino, and our instructional specialist, Dr. Danielle Dietz. So you will be able to ask your questions and get them answered because we get so many questions all the time about, well, I want to hear from a student about what is this, or I want to hear really from a tutor, like what do they really provide? And the best answers always come from the person themselves. And that is what this town hall will be about, is you being able to ask the question directly to the person that has the answer. That's why you have questions, we have answers. It will again stream live Wednesday, March 29th. So that's next Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's 4:30 Central if you're on the Central time. I can't do the math quick enough if you're Pacific, but you can time convert it. And again, we're so excited for that. We will be posting, I believe it's on Friday. Forgive me, everyone. It's been a busy day. I believe Friday we'll post out on our social media a link where you can also ask your questions ahead of time if you want to, instead of typing it in live. You'll be able to do that as well. We'll also send out an email blast to everyone who signed up for our newsletter, or if you're on the application list, I'm sure Ashley has that list, and we will make sure that's accessible by any means. But if you forget to send your question in ahead of time, that's okay. Again, you can submit in there. But I want to play it one more time because I'm just excited for it. We're going to play it one more time, and then we'll wrap it up one more time.
Questions, and STEP has the answers. Join ECU STEP program for a town hall with guests Hayden Clark, Dr. Danielle Dietz, Autumn DiMartino, and hosted by Sam Huffman. NECU STEP Town Hall, stream live Wednesday, March 29th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, now that we've played, I'm still very excited for it. But Ashley, do you have any final words?
All right. So as I always say, the STEP program is an experience. And so if you're thinking about applying, or if you've been accepted into the program, if you want to learn more about the STEP program in general, coming to that town hall event is going to be an amazing experience and opportunity for you to get answer from the prospective people that are providing the services, and from a potential student. And they can share their experiences and overview of the STEP program, which is an amazing opportunity. So I'm super excited as well, Sam. I'm really excited for this town hall. I'm going to be joining as well. I'm going to be on the call ready to hear everything that happens and see the program through a different light.
Awesome. I know it's going to be exciting for sure. Again, that's next Wednesday, March 29th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern on ECU STEP Program's Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And there will be some reminders sent out. For this fireside chat, I'm Sam Huffman, and that is the wonderful Ashley Cooper, our transition specialist. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Again, if you have questions, leave them in the comments field. We'll get to them for sure. And also a big thank you, especially to those who gave today during Pirate Nation Gives. There are still several hours left. You got till midnight to help pursue goals. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Thank you all.